Today, we have a massive update on the Vancouver Canucks top prospect, as well as the Edmonton Oilers make a sneaky signing, and I'll break it all down for you coming up on this episode of Hat Trick HQ. But before we get into it, just want to say, if you're one of the thousands of people watching this that aren't subscribed to the channel, and you love hockey just like all of us here, make sure to go down below, hit that subscribe button, become part of the community here. We'd love to have you. But with that said, let's get right into the first topic of the video today, which is Oilers make a sneaky signing. And if we take a look here, this just in, news that the Edmonton Oilers have signed winger James Stefan, 20 years old, the son of former first overall NHL draft pick Patrick Stefan. It says Stefan has signed a 3-year entry-level deal with the team. And if you haven't heard about James Stefan, I'm going to get into it all here. And he says, for the 2022 draft, he was named as one of the top 10 undrafted prospects out of the Western Hockey League by Adam of the Hockey Writers. He says, the 18-year-old led the Portland Winterhawks in scoring this season with 34 goals and finished second on the team with 79 points in 68 games. He also added 6 points in 11 games during Portland's postseason run. Stefan is an offensive weapon that can burn teams with his shot and passing. He can find teammates behind the defense and string passes to them, allowing for breakaways and odd man rushes. Although not the strongest skater, he understands where he needs to be in the offensive zone to make plays and find ways to get open. He may be a late bloomer and should be snagged as a late pick in the draft, but as we get into the next screenshot, he unfortunately wasn't drafted in the 22 draft, went undrafted, and he was recently listed on Stephen Ellis's of Daily Faceoff as one of the top 10 major junior forward free agents to watch. He says it can't be easy betting being the son of someone labeled as one of the biggest busts in NHL draft history, but Stefan has a good head on his shoulders. Offense has never been a problem with the winger, set to crack the 50-goal, 100-point club this season. Stefan had a decent showing with Ottawa at the Buffalo Prospects Challenge last summer, showing a nice combination of puck skills, physicality, and defensive awareness. I don't see him being a full-time NHLer, but he's rounded enough to be a potential call-up option. And if we get into the next one here, it says he was passed over twice in the draft, so not the hottest prospect yet. He would not be the first undrafted player to make an impact on the Oilers. This year, 3 players who have been with the Oilers, Derek Ryan, Troy Stretcher, and James Hamblin, were not drafted. And they also go on to say here there were a number of players who were late-round draft picks that ended up being full-time NHLers for this club. I'm not going to go through the list. You guys can see them there, but if we take a look at James Stefan's stats here so far this season with the Portland Winterhawks, I mean, this guy's having a phenomenal season. 99 points, 51 assists, 48 goals, having, a Jurassic year-to-year improvement here from when he started back in 21-22, where he ended the season with 42 points. Then the year after, increasing it to with 79 points. Then the next year with 64 points. And now making a great increase in point production here with 99 points. I mean, this guy is showing to be a great prospect here, and the fact that he went undrafted and that the Oilers just kind of signed this guy out of the WHL is amazing, in my opinion. And like they say here, this guy's going to bring some offense throughout the lineup here. He's going to be great with his goal scoring. Obviously, you see he almost has an even number, almost 50 goals, 50 assists this season with the Winterhawks. So maybe we may see him come over here. I don't see we will see him make an instant impact within the Oilers at the NHL level, but I think we will see him maybe bounce to the AHL here. And like they say, he could be a tremendous call-up option for this team throughout the years. I mean, he's signed a 3-year deal here, so he has room to improve, get adjusted to his first-year pro, and potentially be called up for the Oilers' bottom 6 next season, and I just think this is a great sneaky addition for the Edmonton Oilers. And like they say here, son of former NHLer Patrick Stefan, obviously he's was a phenomenal player. Obviously, I think James Stefan has the potential here to be, a solid bottom 6 player here in Edmonton if he does develop the way that he is going right now, as we've seen the year-to-year improvements from this guy. So we can only imagine what we will see once he comes over and starts playing pro hockey. But I really do expect to see him in the AHL. Maybe we may see him in the Coast for a few games to start, and then move up to the AHL level. But like they say here, I think this guy could be a great sneaky addition here because, if he comes up in the AHL and he's producing like he is right now in the WHL, we could easily see him be called up here to the Edmonton Oilers, to the big club, to play in this bottom six. See how we pans out, and maybe he may become a full-time NHLer. You never know with these type of guys. The guys who go undrafted always have impacts here on teams in the NHL, whether it's with their physicality, whether it's with their scoring ability. But for him being passed up in 2 drafts is kind of crazy in my opinion. I know it was around the years where COVID was involved and stuff like this. Games weren't being played as much, and scouts couldn't go out to watch these games, so that could have played a factor in it as well. But I think the Oilers, being a West Coast team, having eyes within the Western Hockey League, in the juniors over there, I think they, their guys, their scouts, seen this guy and were like, hey, we need to get a hold of this guy because he's made some tremendous improvement to his game over these last 3 years in the WHL, and we think we could use him in our organization. And like I said, this is a sneaky signing for the Edmonton Oilers. I really do think that this is going to work out for him. I really do think we will see him in the NHL at some point, and I really hope that he comes over and just lights it up here in the AHL and comes with the Edmonton Oilers, because that would just be great to see. But like I said, this guy is going to be someone to watch here if you're an Oilers fan, and so make sure to tune in to what happens here with James Stefan, because I think this will be a really fun player to watch in the AHL and within their system. But we're going to get into the second topic today, which is massive update on Canucks top prospect. And if we take a look here from Rick Dhaliwal, he says, we're hearing Jonathan Lekkerimäki is leaving for Vancouver on Sunday. Early word he could stay for 8 to 10 days, then go back to Sweden and try to make it for the Worlds. So, we could see Lekkermaki come over here and get to practice with the team and stuff like this, and see what happens. Then he's hopefully going to go over and play in the World Championship this summer. I think this guy is going to be a phenomenal player here in the NHL once he makes his way over. But the fact that he is coming over right now just to kind of play with this team, get to know the guys, and maybe we may see him here next season at some point. I definitely think that he will get tested out in the AHL first, but a former 15th overall pick, this is just great seeing him come over from Sweden, get to meet the team, get to know the guys, and then go back over for the World Championship and hopefully put on a show to prove that maybe he does belong here with this Canucks team next season. And if we take a look at his stats so far, with Orebro HK in the Swedish Hockey League, this season at 19 years old, he did put up 31 points in 46 games, 19 goals, 12 assists, which is phenomenal numbers from such a young guy playing in a league with former NHLers, former top prospects and stuff over in Europe. And I think this guy is gonna have a massive impact on this Vancouver Canucks team over the next couple of years. He's such a highly touted prospect, like I said, at the 15th overall selection here at the right wing position. I think he could easily come in here and make an instant impact offensively for this team. And if we take a look here, this is last season didn't go the way Lekkermaki planned due to the injury and some uneven play when healthy, but he's bounced back nicely this season and back to playing his identity offensively. Lekkermaki possesses a fantastic release. He's a threat to rip pucks from the weak side flank on the power play. He's also the kind of forward who sniffs out open ice in neutral zones and takes advantage when he sees an open lane to attack off the rush. He's slotted to play on one of the Swedes' top lines and power play units for this upcoming World Junior Championship. And they said Lekkermaki isn't a pure burner, but he's sneaky quick, and Vancouver, like they said, selected him in the first round 2022 at the 15th selection. And just some NHL comparisons for him early on here. The number one guy I've seen here is Victor Olofsson. I mean, this guy's just going to be make such impact offensively for this team when he does come over. I do suspect we will see him maybe bounce to the AHL and be tested out there before coming to the NHL, just to get him a little bit of development, get him adjusted to the North American ice and stuff like this. And I think this guy is going to impact this team drastically over the next couple of years. He's a pure scorer. His shot is obviously NHL ready at this time. They just want, him to get his feet underneath him and try to, get adjusted over to playing in North America. All these things, and just try to develop maybe his defensive side of his game, because his defensive side of his game isn't, his strong suit. He is definitely solid defensively, but he's not, spectacular. He's not going to make some crazy plays defensively, but he is solid, and he's going to get some takeaways in the middle of the ice, stuff like this. Maybe this is something they want to work on with him down in the AHL before he does get called up. But he could come in, make an impact offensively with 31 points in the Swedish Hockey League. I mean, this is not a guy to just glance over here. I think he's going to have a great impact here. We've seen so many players come over from Sweden, from the K and stuff, and make such an impact here in the NHL. And I think this is what we're going to see with Lekkermaki over these next couple of years. He's going to come in, he's going to pot goals for you 5v5, whether it's in your bottom six, because I know Vancouver's a deep team right now. But another thing in here is you put him on your second power play unit. Maybe you get him up there on your top power play unit, because this is a guy who can contribute in the special teams by way of power play as well. Like they say here, when he gets open for a shot, he's going to rip it. He's going to put it in the back of the net on the power plays, and he's going to do this 5v5. He's not the best, he's not the fastest skater you're ever going to see, but he is sneaky quick. At 5'11", he can get up there in speed, and, he's good on his edges, making those quick cuts and quick cutbacks to either find an open teammate for a shot or just rip one past the defender. I think this guy has so much potential, a really high ceiling here in the NHL. I mean, a top 15 draft pick. I think, he's going to be one of those guys here in the next couple of years we're really going to see develop for this Vancouver Canucks club and really have a big impact here in the NHL. But I want to hear your guys' thoughts on everything we talked about today. What do you think about the Oilers signing of James Stefan, and what do you think about Jonathan Lekkerimäki coming over here? I know Canucks fans are going to be eagerly watching him in the upcoming World Championship playing with Sweden, because I think if he has a really strong showing here in the World Championship, we could even see him, come over for camp and make the team out of the camp, play some preseason games. And if he's really making an impact in these preseason games, we could even see him make the opening night roster, which would be fun to see. But like I said, I want to hear from you guys down in the comment section below. Let me know your thoughts on everything we talked about today. We're going to get into everybody's favorite topic here, which is comment of the day. And the comment of the day today goes to Corey. He says, watching with my son-in-law, and he just pointed out Mark sounds like Ray Romano. He says, LOL, totally. And maybe it's just because me and Mark have been friends for such a long time, and I've been hearing his voice for years and years now, that I don't really hear it. But there is a couple people who I've mentioned this to that they do say that they hear it. So I want to hear from you guys down below. Me and Mark definitely got a laugh out of this yesterday when we seen this comment, because it's not really something you hear very much, that you sound like somebody. But I think it was a great comment. Thought I had to share it with you guys. And let me know down below, does Mark sound like Ray Romano? Let me know down below. But if you guys enjoyed this video, make sure to go down below, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Round the road for 3,500 subscribers, and I really appreciate it. If you're not subscribed to the channel already, you enjoy the NHL just like all of us here, make sure to go down below and hit the subscribe button. And as you can probably see right now, I'm in my new setup. Got my new setup, all good to go this morning. Hopefully this wall behind me is soon going to be filled with memorabilia and stuff like that, so that I'm not just against a blank gray wall. But stay with me, I'll get it all sorted out coming up soon. But if you want to check out another video we did yesterday on Max Domi, make sure to, it's going to be popping up on your screen right now. Make sure to check that one out. But as always, I've been your host, KC. Keep your stick on the ice.